In the mobile world, we can safely say there are three main players when it comes to operating systems: Windows Phone, iOS, and Android. One of the many things that sets Android apart from the other two are live wallpapers. They provide a sense of a fresh vibe, personalisation, and fun. Well, today was a sunny day in Perth, Australia, where I live, and I thought, well, might as well be a good day to show you guys some awesome live wallpapers. So let's get started, hey? Now, I'm going to be running you through the top 30 live wallpapers of the Android operating system. Now, if you see my previous videos, there's going to be some new ones in here that you haven't seen before. There's going to be something for everyone, pretty much. Now, we're going to split this into 4 categories. The first one is Earth, the second one is Space, the third one is Interactive, and the fourth one is Miscellaneous. Now, once you have these wallpapers, you can either show them off to your friends or iPhone users, or you can just have fun with them yourself. It's up to you guys. Let's start with the first category, and that's Earth. The first live wallpaper is something called Tornado 3D. Now, this is pretty cool. It looks quite stunning, to be honest. It's pretty much a massive storm that's going on, and you can swipe your finger across, and when you change to different home screens, the camera kind of pans around with your movements, and you can actually change the innards of the tornado to something like fire or water or whatever you want, and the floor can be changed to things such as mud or grass or just whatever. So there's a lot of options in that, and it's free, so I recommend downloading that. And there's another application called Beach Balls HD, and on the free version there's not many options. What you see is what you get, pretty much, but if you like this kind of thing, go for it. And this third one is called Blue Skies, and it's pretty much one of my favorite live wallpapers. You've probably seen it on quite a lot of my videos, and the time of day changes depending on the real time of day on the clock, so that's pretty cool. And if you get a message, you actually get little balloons that pop up, and you can pop them if you want. So it's just an interesting way of giving you notifications. This fourth one is called My Beach, and it's pretty cool. It's just a scenic beach, and you know, different things happen. Like sometimes you have fireworks at night, and different things like a plane flying across, and it's quite interesting. This one's called Snowfall. It's what you see pretty much here, nothing much to it. This next live wallpaper is called Seasons End. It's pretty popular because it's just so simple. It's brilliant in its simplicity. So basically when you swipe across, it just changes the angle that you stare at this bird's nest. Let's move along to Space now. There's quite a few to get through, so let's get started. The first one is Solar Power, and it's a pretty intense app. So we can change the color of the sun, we can choose the color cycle, change the glare intensity or flare agitation, and we can choose the type of objects that orbit around the sun. So I've just chosen the mix, so you can see the full array of objects that are available in this application. But when we do start it up and get it all sorted, you'll see that the graphics are pretty good, because I think it does use OpenGL ES 2.0, so that means you get real-time reflections and different aspects like that. So it may be a bit of a battery hog with all the processing that has to be done, but it does look good, and maybe alternatively sometimes you can have it on if you like. This next one is Titan Sunrise. It's pretty cool. It's kind of just the view from the moon Titan looking at Saturn with the sun behind it, and it has sun rays and sun glare as well, so it's quite a passive wallpaper, but if you like that kind of thing, you can get that. There's another one called Galactic Core, fairly straightforward. It just changes the angle of the galaxy as you swipe across. This next one's called Jump Gate. It has an Android mascot that floats around and changes perspective as you swipe across, and if you double tap, he does a barrel roll. This next application is called Celestial Bodies. It's got quite a whole host of options, but unfortunately that's mostly for the full version. There's also music visualization, which means that if you have a song playing, the planets will bounce in time with the beat, which is pretty cool, and I haven't seen that on many live wallpapers. But you should give this one a shot. This next one's called Asteroid Belt, and it's fairly straightforward. In the free version, all you do is just swipe around. This next one's called a Plamio 3D Sky. Don't ask about the name, but anyway, you can choose your sky type, so you can select that, or choose the frame rate at which you want it to run to save battery. You can even choose the speed at which you want the sky to rotate, so I've just chosen a nice car moving along, and that's what it looks like. But if you want to see the extremes of it, which you guys probably want to do, I'll show you guys. If we choose bad trip and the sky type to be violent, it looks like that. So some guy's having a bad LSD trip and falling over or something, and so you don't want to be looking at that all day, but you can choose it if you want. This next one's called Earth Rotate, and it's pretty good. It's got a whole host of options here. You can choose the position of your globe, the globe size, things like the slide rotation, touch rotation, and much more. And the main thing that is mind-boggling is the amount of maps. Now, what maps are is pretty much what the planet actually is. So you can choose things like the Death Star or different soccer balls and stuff, and it's kind of endless and it's a bit ridiculous. I don't think anyone with their right mind will go through all of these options. But just to show you for fun's sake, I'll just choose the softball, and as you can see there, it's a softball spinning in the middle of space, and you can change that background if you want. You can add a star field so stars go flying past, and you can add a title to your planet, or you can even add moons orbiting. So hopefully we got rid of the people with shorter attention spans, so let's move on to the most fun section of this video. Interaction, so the interactive section. This first one's called Node. Now basically it's just kind of a physics wallpaper, if you want to call it that, so you can add text or shapes and play with them and kind of split them apart and choose how they react and behave. It's pretty cool. This next one here is something pretty unique. It's called a reflective organism. Now if you look at this, you would actually think that the light is reflecting off some kind of film over the screen, but as you can see here, my hand is completely over it and there's no shadow being cast, so it's actually an accelerometer based wallpaper, which is sweet, I thought. This next one is called Memes. Basically what it is it's just a bunch of falling memes or memes that are generated by your finger touch, and it's pretty funny and will put a smile on your face on a bad day, but I do actually recommend against the free version because it has push ads, and if you know anything about that, it's something that you don't want to be dealing with, so get the paid version or don't get it at all basically. This next one's called Crazy Fish. I've showed it to you guys a while ago, but it was one of the more interesting applications I've seen for a live wallpaper. So honestly, I'd like to see more live wallpapers like this. So basically you can start a game mode on your wallpaper. Let me show you what I mean by this. So if you click start, you are this little fish and you have to eat the fishes with the dinner symbols above them while avoiding the other fish that will eat you, and you try and get your highest score while avoiding those other fishes. Now it's pretty cool because this is all inside your wallpaper, so you can be switching through menus and doing whatever, and even while this phone is locked you can be playing a game on your lock screen. Now I showed this to you ages ago, but just for the new guys, so you should try this out. This next one is called Virtual World 4. Now this is kind of like a augmented reality at a very basic level, but it uses the gyroscope and accelerometer to kind of give a virtual world of your phone's position, so you can spin around, look up and look down, all within this window of your phone. So it's quite cool and probably works best outside, but I'm just trying it indoors here to give you an idea. This next one here is also a very cool interactive game. It's a Doom live wallpaper where you can give your guy weapons, you can make the sprites harder to defeat, or there's quite a few options here, and it's pretty cool. If we're feeling a bit mean, we can put 25 monsters versus one guy and we can see how he fares. But as you can see, it gets a bit chaotic. This guy's getting pawned, but is a pro, so he just owns them all. I'm not sure how. So if you click somewhere, you can spawn little power-ups that help him get through his level just that little bit easier. So it's pretty cool just to have battling out on your wallpaper. This next live wallpaper is called Exodus. Now I call it more of a design wallpaper more than anything else, and it's still pretty cool to look at. So you can choose the different colors of your blocks, and as you can see, you can touch the screen and the blocks will generate, and you can swipe up, down, left and right, and the blocks will follow your particular movement. This next one's called Foo Cat, and it's very Japanese and hence slightly alternative, if you want to put it that way. I'm not sure what else to call it. These cats, you can choose from different ones and they're all weird, so just take your pick. You can choose an overlay item if you love hearts or clovers, which I don't. You can put that there. It's not really my thing, but you can have that overlay if you want. So you can pick this cat up, you can throw him around, and you can get him to do stuff. But he's always doing weird emotions. I'm not sure if he's happy or just cheeky, I'm not sure. But anyway, you can get him to have a mouse and eat it, and he loves chasing it, but he'll just kind of pick it up and not do anything. He doesn't eat it, he just freezes, so who knows, eh? Anyway, so you can actually get him to write stuff as well. It's just kind of like a little pet on your screen, so if you like that kind of thing, go for this. Otherwise, probably take a pass. This next one is called Koi Fish. You guys have probably seen it heaps and heaps, and it's one of my favorites as well. There's just a billion options on the paid version, and once you do set it up, it's actually quite realistic, and you can have some drops and you can feed the fish if you double click, and the fish also gets startled, which is quite realistic once again. Okay, so this next one is called Messy Pocket. It's alright because it's kind of imitating the Pocket environment using a live wallpaper. So in the full version you can choose what you want inside your Pocket, and it's awesome because it actually uses the accelerometer, so if you double tap it makes everything jump around, and if you like you can pick up your device and tilt it and everything kind of falls in the effect of gravity, and as you can see there's some interesting items in there as well. This next one is called Power of Life, and it's kind of just pretty simple. I haven't really played around with it that much, but I'm pretty sure it's just kind of a tentacle, kind of ocean bed floor feel, and you kind of just highlight the area that your fingers press. Doesn't really do much, but it looks cool. Let's move on to Miscellaneous. So we've got a few in here that are pretty interesting. This first one is called Stickman, and you can choose your background that your little man will run around, and it's kind of just a passive wallpaper where you just watch this guy do ridiculous things, and it's just fun to watch basically. This next one is called A Neon Path, and it's kind of reminds me of Tron. It's that kind of feel. So you can select the number of paths you want in the full version, or in the trial version you can just watch these paths go. And there's quite a few options, but unfortunately the trial version is slightly limited. But if you just want to watch this, that's a cool one as well. Shouldn't take up much battery, it's quite passive. This one's called Digital Flux, and it's nice because it uses quite good graphics, so it has some lighting effects and some anti-aliasing that you can apply if you want to. And once you have it all set up, it looks pretty impressive. It's just some cubes that kind of pulse in and out, and you can move the camera position by rotating the screen. But in the full version you can choose your blocks properly. Here we have multi-live wallpaper, don't need to go over that. And now we have My 3D Fish. This is kind of like Koi Fish, except this time you're under the water and your fish doesn't actually interact with you, you kind of just look around the scenery. So if you want that kind of thing, you can grab that. This next one is called A Liquid Cloud, and it's pretty impressive. It looks nice, but unfortunately the trial version has limited color palettes. This one is called Sunrise Live Wallpaper, and it's pretty sweet. It's kind of a 2.5D effect. This next one is called Paperland. It's got a whole host of options, and also has a time of day setting as well, which I always like in my live wallpapers. And once again it's 2.5D, but it actually is designed well and I really like the look of it, so if you want to grab this one and have a play with it, go ahead, it's free. So as you can see the moon comes up and the time of day is actually dynamic. So I hope you enjoyed that. That was a whole bunch of live wallpapers available on the Android Play Store, and it really changes the environment of your phone. So if you're feeling a bit bored or you want to just change the way your phone looks but just do it simply, you can just install one of these live wallpapers and have some fun with them. If I've missed any, please let me know in the description. Hopefully I showed you some cool stuff. As usual, don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe, and next time I'll be back with some interesting apps, such as AutoCAD and some virtual reality.